right, Line Basketball Podcast, episode 237, December 20th, 2024. Not coming off of anything because we already did the Tennessee game, so we don't have to talk about that anymore. A lot of comments, we don't have to get to any of that.
We're late. It's my fault. I'll take the blame because Ethan would never.
It's Facebook's fault also.
And now we started 5 minutes early, so nobody's going to be here anyway. So
we don't want anybody here.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, Illinois laces them back up on Sunday at noon on ESPN. Great time slot for this game. Perfect. I mean, it makes zero sense. The game really should be tonight, but whatever.
I mean, it has to be. It has to be because of the new college football playoff schedule, right? That they did this.
Is that why? I mean, now it's just going to go straight up against the NFL.
I guess. Yeah.
I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's just that every few years there's the scheduling for this game is so stupid. I don't understand it.
So what's it on? ESPN?
Yeah.
Because like a couple of years ago it was on SEC Network and it was like a terrible time or something, if I remember.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
No? It was on SEC Network a couple of years ago, right?
That was like 4 years ago. I don't know about a couple. It's been on SEC Network twice.
4 is a couple. What are you talking about?
4 is not we're not doing that.
A few years ago. My bad.
It was 4 years ago.
Okay.
A few is 3. It was on the SEC Network twice when Iowa was at Illinois, which is a shame. 2 of the 3 years, I believe, because one of the years it was like a Saturday at 11, and then another one of the years for SEC Network it was a night, like a Friday or Saturday night. So whatever, doesn't matter. It's at Sunday at noon. I mean, just whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Anyways.
I mean, if they put it this way, if they do it Saturday, they're going up against college football playoff and the NFL games. If they do it Sunday, they're going just straight up against the NFL. If they do it tonight, they could do it before. They could do it at 6 o'clock, which is like, I don't know. It's just so dumb. At least it's not on the SEC Network, though. That's good. We already had one game on the two games on the SEC Network this season: the Ole Miss exhibition and then the Alabama game. So that's enough scheduling talk. Illinois coming into this game at 7-3, Missouri 10-1 on the year. Missouri, typical team that schedules nobody. I mean, they've played 2 teams. They lost to Memphis first game of the year. They beat Kansas. I don't really know what Kansas is at this point, but they did beat Kansas, beat them by 9, almost blew it. I mean, it was a little touch and go for a moment, but they beat Kansas because apparently Kansas doesn't game plan for anybody because I have no idea how you let Tamar Bates go for 30 against you.
Yeah.
He had 29, but whatever. We'll round up, throw him a bone there. But Illinois last year in this game really took it to Missouri. Missouri was a much, much worse team last year than they are this year. I mean, last year's team didn't even win 10 games. They won 8. So to be fair, Illinois beat them 97-73. Terrence Shannon had 30. Quincy Guerrier had 28. I don't know how you let Quincy Guerrier drop 28 on you, but they did.
How many threes did Quincy have last year?
5.
5, okay.
5 of the team's 11. Coleman Hawkins at 15, 7 and 3. Marcus Damask at 10, 7 and 7. Damask went 0 for 7 from 3 in a game that they won by 24. Tamar Bates is okay. So he was there last year. I don't remember him being there last year, but he was. So this is his second year. Last year in this game for him, because he's really one of the only guys that'll be playing in this game that played last year for Missouri. He had 10 points on 3 of 7 shooting, 2 rebounds, and a turnover. A lot of their other guys are gone from the team last year. Missouri turned their roster over quite a bit from last year, as they should. I mean, they went 8-24, and their SEC record was 0-18. So something to keep an eye on there. But Missouri's definitely better this year. I mean, it's really hard not to be. So what can I say? Their last game was Tuesday night, 83-72 win over Jacksonville State. Mark Mitchell had 18 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. He'll start at the 4 for him. The guard position is a little bit different. They don't really have a point guard that anybody's talking about, I guess I should say. This isn't really – I mean, Anthony Robinson's the point guard, but he's not like an elite player. I mean, he'll get 3 to 4 to 5, maybe 6 assists, but Illinois certainly has the better facilitator in this game. He's a sophomore. He had 6. Nope, that's the wrong number. He had 5. There we go. Got it. 5 assists against Jacksonville State.
Mark Mitchell had 6.
Tony Perkins in a line.
He's not a point guard?
He's a 2.
Okay.
He had 2 assists in the last game.
How many did Tony Perkins put up against Illinois?
He had like 33 that one year.
Yeah.
It's like like a third of it was free throws, though.
Yeah.
They got Bates, as we spoke about. They got Mark Mitchell, who we spoke about. Josh Gray starting at the 5, 22 minutes, 4 points, 5 rebounds in their last game. He's a South Carolina transfer. Spent 1 year at LSU in his first season. Off the bench, they got Trent Pierce, Jacob Cruz, Marquez Warwick. They had some, 30, they had 40 bench points in their last game. So they do have some guys.
They looked like they play a bunch of guys. I mean,
they played 8 guys, 10 plus minutes, and then 3 other guys got into the game.
Yeah, they have 10 guys that have played in 10 games or more. So
yeah. I mean, you look at their schedule, though. They beat Howard, who's not very good. Eastern Washington, not good. Mississippi Valley State, one of the worst teams in the country. Pacific, not good. Arkansas Pine Bluff, one of the worst teams in the country. Lindenwood, not good. Cal, not very good. I mean, Cal beating USC still makes no sense to me. They beat Kansas, like we said, but then Long Island is not good at all. Jacksonville State's, fine, but I think Illinois can definitely put up a lot of points on this team. I mean, they're 104th in defensive efficiency. I don't think Illinois should have any concern by that. They're not very good at guarding the 3, much better at guarding the 2. But I don't think they've seen a team that can knock down the 2 like Illinois. I mean, Kansas, I think, is percentage-wise slightly better, but Kansas was such a shell of themselves in that game that, I don't even know. Kansas turned the ball over 22 times in that game.
Yeah,
so I think that inflated some of Missouri's numbers. I mean, they're 9th in the country in turning teams over. That's really what they do defensively. They're okay at protecting inside the 3-point line, and they turn teams over. So, but I just feel like when you have a game where you have 22 turnovers and you play a bunch of bad teams, I mean, your numbers are probably going to be pretty good. So I haven't watched them enough to know whether they play a style where they force turnovers or not. The Kansas game was on a Sunday. I have no interest in watching that if I don't have to. I also bet Kansas, so that sucked. But, I mean, they did keep it close with a good Memphis team. Illinois, I think, is the best team that they're going to play so far until they play Auburn on January 4th, because I don't think Kansas is better than Illinois. I think the metrics might tell you that, but Kansas lost to a Creighton team that looks awful, and then they lost to Missouri. I know those are both road losses, but, I don't know. I don't understand how Kansas has not – Kansas should be one of the 5 best teams in the country with that roster, but whatever. Bring in a bunch of losers, and there you go. None of the players on this Kansas team are winners. They're all a bunch of losers. What have these guys even won other than DeJuan Harris? And I guess KJ Adams is probably on that national championship team too, but he's a freshman. So, AJ Storr hasn't won anything. Hunter Dickinson hasn't won anything. Zeke Mayo played South Dakota State. Congrats. Ryland Griffin got to the Final Four last year at Alabama. Just a bunch of losers. And Bill Self's a loser. When's the last time he's won? 3 years ago? I mean, time's ticking. Yeah. But seriously, Missouri, I mean, just an annoying way to schedule. They play 2 tough opponents, and then they play Kansas every year, right?
Yeah.
And then they play Illinois every year. Fucking schedule harder. Dennis Gates is a loser. I hope this team goes 3-15 in the SEC, which they might.
This is how they started last year, right? They won a bunch of games and then got stomped by Illinois, and then
they were 7-2.
Okay.
They were 7-2. Then they lost to Kansas. Then they lost to Seton Hall. Then they lost to Illinois. They beat Central Arkansas on December 30th and did not win again.
Okay. Yeah.
So they were 8-5, and they finished 8-24.
Okay.
But then, the year before, when they beat Illinois and lost to Kansas by a lot, they were 9-0 going into Kansas, 12-1 going, or 11-1 going into the SEC. They didn't play anybody. It's the same thing. Dennis Gates' first year, they played Southern Indiana, Penn, Lindenwood, SIUE, Mississippi Valley State, Coastal Carolina, Houston Christian, Wichita State, and SEMO. That is fucking pathetic scheduling. If you're going to be a player, especially in the SEC, you have to schedule harder than that.
Yeah.
They're going to play Auburn, they're going to play Florida, 2 top 10 teams. They're going to play Tennessee and Alabama, 2 more top 10 teams. They're going to play Oklahoma, who looks good right now. Texas A&M's a good team. I think Georgia and Arkansas are pretty good teams. Like you have to schedule much harder than this. Like you have to get a couple, like let's say, let's try to schedule something with Arizona, or let's try to schedule something with UConn. I mean, come on. What are you, scared? I mean, it's pathetic the way that they schedule like this every single year. And it doesn't help them.
No.
I mean, Quano was doing similar things. I mean, his last season when he got fired, they lost to Kansas City by 14, which, yikes, he should have been fired right then. And then their best opponent in non-conference outside of Illinois and Kansas were SMU. And SMU that year was like a good metrics team, but they were an NIT team. So, but yeah, if you're an SEC team like that, like let's look at the top of the SEC for a moment.
Okay.
The top of the SEC schedule's hard. Okay. Auburn has played Houston, Iowa State, Duke. They played Memphis. They went to Ohio State. Well, I guess it says neutral, but like that game was, where was that game at?
What? Indiana? I think it was
Ohio
in
State.
Indiana.
Oh, it was in Georgia. Okay. Okay, so that's not to Ohio. Why did I think that game was at Ohio State? That's weird. Didn't watch. I just saw the score. But I saw a couple highlights. Like, it was in Columbus. That was Pitt who went to Ohio State. I apologize. But the point is that they played Houston, Iowa State, and Duke. So, and then you look at who's Tennessee played. Tennessee has played Baylor, and they played Illinois. Tennessee kind of weak scheduling. I'm not going to lie. But they did go to Illinois, to be fair. Florida has played a weak schedule. But do you think Florida expected to be really, really good? I don't know if they expected to be this good.
Right.
But the other point is Alabama. Alabama went to Purdue. Alabama played Illinois. Alabama played Houston. Alabama played Oregon. They played North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Like that's enough right there. Compared to
Alabama's schedule's been insane.
Yeah. And Alabama's schedule would have been much more insane if like Creighton and Rutgers were better.
Yeah. True.
But they're not. So my point is, you have to
schedule better. Harder. We got it. Yeah.
Texas A&M also played Texas Tech and Purdue and Rutgers and Oregon and Creighton and Ohio State. So, yeah. So my message to Dennis Gates is play a harder schedule for once in your fucking life. It's just embarrassing. I hope Illinois beats them by 150 for several reasons. And I fucking hate Missouri. Can we talk about that for a second? Like there is not a program that I despise more than these fucking losers. Just absolute losers. These inbred fucking losers from Arkansas who root for Missouri. But other than that, this should be a fun game for both teams.
Okay. All right. Well,
couple keys for Illinois. You got to guard their perimeter.
Yeah.
You have to, I think Mark Mitchell against Ben Humrickhouse, we've been defenders of Humrickhouse's defense. You've got to play well defensively. You got to know your assignment. You got to keep things in front of them. I think Kylan Boswell is going to be a big part of this game in the way that he's going to attempt to shut down Tamar Bates, I think, is the likely matchup there. You'll probably see Trey White on Tony Perkins or vice versa with those two. I think KJ on Robinson makes sense. Not too worried about what they have in the way of a big man in the starting lineup. With Gray, I'm a little more concerned about Pierce, the 6'10", 220-pound sophomore in his second year. Guy had 24 points against the vaunted, one of their harder opponents, Long Island, the 336th ranked team in the country, according to Ken Palm. And Jacob Cruz, the transfer from UT Martin, who had 19 against Jacksonville State. And he's so good, folks, that he didn't play any minutes against Kansas. So, man, this team is so impressive. I'm so impressed that Missouri's 10-1. But Illinois, absolutely the better team coming in. Congrats to Missouri for shooting 62% from 2, fourth in the country, fourth best in the country from 2, and third best in effective field goal percentage, all because you've played the, drum roll please, 361st hardest strength of schedule, you fucking losers. What a bunch of losers. God, I hate this team. And Dennis Gates, guy couldn't coach his way out of a paper bag. Is that what they say? I don't know. He sucks.
I think so. Wet paper
One
bag.
good year. They got lucky in the portal one time, and they had several guys that came back, by the way. And then now that he's had to create his own roster, they're 18-25 with a 10-1 record this year. Like, what a joke. What a joke. What a terrible program.
Is it crazy that they have every player listed as a guard except for 2 centers? They like.
I don't think that's an accurate representation of their team.
Okay. All
but I mean, you never know. And they got this Caleb Grill who like stepped away from Iowa State. Guy's on his, he went to Iowa State at first, then went to UNLV, then went back to Iowa State, and then like got kicked off the team his second year. He's in his this is the 6th season he's played of college basketball. He's not played in the last 4 games, but he's like shooting 55% from 3. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, he looks like a ball player.
He was good at Iowa State, and then like something. I don't think he's a very good like locker room guy. I mean, he got kicked off the team.
Ethan is not a fan of Mizzou.
Am I allowed to use the term inbred? I mean, it was lighthearted.
I don't see why not.
Yeah,
I mean you are talking about Mizzou, so
yeah, and we're going further south. We're going to Arkansas and Georgia, and we all root for the Cardinals in Missouri, and yeah, those are the worst people in the world, honestly. They are, and I speak as a Cardinal fan.
As a Cardinal fan, that's
fuck Missouri.
And
fuck everything about them. Fuck everything the University of Missouri stands for.
Yeah, St. Louis
piece of
should
shit
just
program.
be in Illinois, right?
East St. Louis is in Illinois, and that's where good football is. So
technically, yeah,
they go state champions. But yeah, I don't like Missouri at all, and I think I've made that clear. I guess we'll do players to watch.
Eric says Illinois 81, Mississippi 65.
Wow.
Players to watch. I'm going to go with Will Riley for Illinois. I'd like to see Will, come back and, have a good game and be good with the ball, make some threes, take some good shots. I want Brad to get him open without having to dribble to get open or force up a shot. And then I'm going to go with Mark Mitchell from Missouri because, according to this, he's leading the team in points. He averages 5 rebounds, 2 assists, shoots at 23.8% from 3. So big Hummer is going to be sitting in the paint guarding him, I assume. And yeah, I haven't watched Missouri at all, so I'm just sitting here BSing. So.
Right.
Yep.
For Illinois, I'm going with Tomislav Ivisic. They have a 7-footer who plays 25 or fewer minutes. Need him to be aggressive and shoot the ball and do the things offensively that he's done when he's good. And for Missouri, Tamar Bates. He showed up in a lot of games last year. He's kind of become a scorer. I see why he left Indiana now. He had 36 points against Florida last year, 22 against Seton Hall. 29 against Arkansas, and obviously had a big game against Kansas. So we'll see if he can have a big game here. He went 5 for 10 from the field with 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals against Memphis. So he's shown up in their bigger games. We'll see if he can do it again. And Illinois' got to have a plan for him defensively. He shoots it not very great from 3. I mean, 35 you'll take, but he doesn't
about that
make
free throw
many.
percentage.
Yeah, free throw line, he's shooting 96%. He's missed 1 this year. That 1 miss came against Lindenwood in a game that they won by 20. Imagine only being Lindenwood by 20. What a joke. Lindenwood lost to Oklahoma by 33. They lost to Mississippi, Ole Miss, as they're known, by 33 as well. So congrats to beating them by 20, losers.
What is did you say what their KenPom defense was? What number?
Missouri?
Yeah.
They're 100 and 104th.
Okay. All right.
It's nothing to be afraid of.
The chat's hating on Big Hummer. I'm
gonna change my prediction real quick.
Also, the fans are loving the snow, Ethan. Good work on that.
We do it every year. I mean,
I know they just don't remember. It's all right.
I just changed my prediction a little bit.
Okay.
I added a different number.
You don't know how to add. All right, cool.
Well, I was going to do 84 to 34, but I felt like that would have been too far.
The chat is asking if Will Riley has less dunks than Hummer Cows. I don't remember Will Riley throwing one down yet.
I don't know if he has.
Maybe on a breakaway that I don't remember. So apparently he's had several, according to others. Ethan changed the score, but
Went from 74 to 64 for Missouri. Because just
right.
fuck them.
Okay, yeah, because who cares? They're Missouri.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Illinois wins this by 11, 82-71. I really don't think it's going to be close. I think Illinois is a much better team than Missouri, but they've been better team before.
Oh, yeah, we know. We're well aware of the warning signs here.
But I think that they handle this, all those new guys that are, really got it in their heart that this is bragging rights.
Need Ty Rogers to send a message tonight.
Maybe Ty Rogers just runs off the bench and just tackles Bates. How's that sound?
This is where I wish that like Brad Underwood and his staff would kind of approach this specific game how I think Dan Lanning would at Oregon, where you need to play it up as much as possible about how we hate these guys and why they need to win this game. There needs to be a theme for this game this week of, hey, we got to beat the fuck out of these guys because these guys are a bunch of losers.
I feel like Brad's had a hard time, like, getting up for the bragging rights game.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at results by year, his first year, they won by 6. Not a very good Illinois team, not a very good Missouri team, though. I mean, a little bit, Missouri much better than Illinois that year, mind you, but they won by 6. So year 2, they lost by 16. That was, of course, like the worst team in the history of sports for Illinois. And then the year that they were going to make the tournament, but COVID hit, they lost by 7. And then the year after that, they lost by 3. So that's 3 straight losses. And then they beat them by, and when they beat them by a lot. They beat them by 25 in the Plummer Kofi year. Then the Matthew Meyer, Terrence Shannon year 1 team lost by 22. That was a game where Missouri literally did not miss a shot. Illinois was better that year, though. Last year, Illinois was better. They beat them by 24. So what does that make Brad's record? 1-0, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3,
500,
2-3, 2-4, 3-4, 3-4. So he's 3-4, and out of those 7 years, I would argue that Illinois had the better team in 4 or 5 of them, at least 4. So it's tough. It's tough.
It is tough.
Like the Illinois team that was a 1 seed lost to Missouri by 3. I mean, that's bad.
Yeah.
You got to get them up for it. That's weird. Like, Illinois doesn't lose to Wisconsin and Michigan, but like, doesn't that
Hinkle says he's a Kansas State alum. He doesn't know anything about rivalries.
Yeah, but guess what, Hinkle? He's been in Illinois. This is like year 8, right? So he should know by now.
How come Coleman Hawkins cares about Kansas State fans talking shit, but he never cared about Illinois fans?
It probably doesn't help.
They talk worse than we do? Because
that seems impossible, but maybe
it does.
It probably, Kansas State's bad. That's probably part of it. Like they're 6-4, but they're not good. Like they don't have any. Their best win is over George Washington, who died in the 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 200 years ago. Okay. Like they beat a dead person is their best win.
Yeah,
their best win is over a guy who, he's dead.
He is dead. Yeah,
he died because he was riding a horse in the rain, and then he got home and then didn't take his wet clothes off in time and got pneumonia because he was eating dinner and just died. I mean, it's embarrassing. That's their best. That's Kansas State's best win is over that guy. So
he had wooden teeth too, I think.
Yeah, take that into account. And I don't know if he was the president who I don't know if he had slaves or he's married into.
He definitely had slaves.
Yeah, but it was him or John Adams who they didn't really like the whole slavery thing, but married into a family that had slaves.
Yeah, and then had babies with their slaves too, I think.
There's a whole big thing going on back then. But that's Kansas State's best win. So not good for Coleman Hawkins at K-State. And Coleman Hawkins was never worth that to begin with.
Have you been in the eggnog and rum with Jeffrey? What's going on here?
No, we're just having a good time.
All right.
This is our second to last episode before Christmas.
How are all the Illini transfer outs doing?
Great.
Who cares? But Jeremiah Fears did have a good game.
Yeah, good transition. Let's go to that now. Before we get to the games to watch this weekend, Jeremiah Fears was great against Michigan. Oklahoma beating Michigan. And no, you never caught us saying that Jeremiah Fears wasn't going to be a good player.
Yeah.
He's been really good. He had 30 points on 8 of 12 shooting, 3 rebounds, 4 assists against Michigan, and hit a 3 to give them the lead, and then made the free throw.
And 1-3, yeah.
Yeah.
He should have been on Illinois if that's what he's doing, and 1-3s. That's Illinois' thing.
And he's shown up in some of their biggest games. I mean, he had 26 against Arizona, put up 20 against Providence in a game that was close. Georgia Tech, he dropped 18. I mean, he makes free throws too. He's shooting 86% for the field line. He also gets to the line. He's got 71 attempts already. He's shooting 34% from 3. Yeah, he's good. He's an NBA guy. He's not Casper's, though. He's not Casper's.
Yeah. Jay said would be nice to have Fears off the bench here. Yeah, that's the problem is he didn't want to come off the bench.
He's also too good to come off the bench, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he's been very impressive. Very, very.
Although I feel like Illinois could have gotten away with a Fears, Boswell, Casper's guard trio.
Yeah, said Trey White.
Yeah, I don't know if the style fits as well, but be 3 better players.
Yeah, and Fears is more of a true point guard, right?
Yeah.
Than either of those two.
I think Casper's is as true of a point guard as it gets.
Okay. Sorry I said
ball.
that. I apologize. That was.
I mean, nobody's complaining about Fears' turnovers, are they? Because he had 8 against Providence and 5 against Michigan and 5 against Oklahoma State.
I don't think anybody is complaining about Casper's.
NBA people are. They're bitching about it.
Oh, really?
He could be a top 5 guy, but the turnover numbers. I mean,
do you think Fears is a top 5 guy though? I mean, that would be the reason why they talk about Casper's like that, and not Jeremiah Fears.
Could be a lottery guy though. Let's see.
Bootzilla says we're happy with our guys. I agree. I can't add to it. The only person not happy with our guy is Jeffrey. So, but at least we got this snow to calm him down.
CBS Sports' mock has Casper's going 5th as of 2 days ago. And it has Jeremiah Fears going
22.
Jeez, can't even find him. Can't find Will Riley either. Everybody's out on Will Riley already. No Will Riley.
Chat was saying Will Riley might be coming back.
The newest Bleacher Report mock draft. Number 1, Cooper Flagg. Number 2, Dylan Harper of Rutgers. Number 3, Ace Bailey of Rutgers. Glad Rutgers stinks. Kasparas Yakachonis, 4th overall, according to Bleacher Report. They say the tape against Tennessee painted a clear picture of Kasparas Yakachonis' strengths and weaknesses. He continues to look aggressive offensively after starting the year attempting fewer than 10 shots in 4 of 6 games. Despite finishing 2 of 7 threes, 2 of 7 from 3, on Saturday, he was fouled on the 2 he made, highlighting both obvious shot-making skill and growing confidence. He also shows excellent timing and effective deceleration on drives, plus very crafty finishing and touch with his layup package. Don't fucking call it that. His passing IQ is extremely high, and he processes ultra quickly, but he can be too casual at times. And Tennessee's defenders were able to get strips or knock him off balance with physicality and pressure, and they also fouled the absolute shit out of him as the end of that sentence as well. So they got him going 4th.
Okay.
Yegor going 7th, by the way, our former future Illini.
Yeah.
I wish I could find Fears is 12th. Okay, so he's moved into the lottery. All right, there we go.
Wow.
They say that he continues to pop off the screen with his violent change of direction, speed, and burst attacking the rim. NBA teams should already see a surefire advantage creator in the open floor or point of attack in the half court. The offensive decision-making, shot-making, execution do need work, but he's one of the country's youngest players, turned 18 in October, and he's still delivered promising flashes of pull-up shooting, touch, passing grade. Scouts are bound to start taking Fears very seriously at this current level of creation and production carried over conference play.
Sound like the Matchbox guy there. That's good. Yeah. Hinkle says that we need Geoff to do some more in-season tampering.
Absolutely.
To get Fears here next year.
Will Riley 16th, according to this, by the way.
Okay. Jeffrey, you're not happy with any of the Illinois players. You hate them all.
They got pro comparisons. I want to look at those real quick. Who do you think their pro comparison is for Casper? Do they dare say Luka? That would be hilarious. There's no way, though. Okay, they said Chauncey Billups. Okay, that's good. What do they say about Fears? Let's see. Jaden Ivey. Yikes. Oof. For Will Riley, it's obviously Kevin Durant, right? Nope. Kaishan George. Who the fuck is that? All right. I think it's a newer Kaishan George. Not Keontae. That's the one who went to Baylor. Kaishan George. Where did he go to, like?
I know, Jeffrey. It's a joke.
Oh, he's a Swiss basketball player. Okay, he didn't even play college. Oh, he played Miami. Oh, Miami sucks. Oh, all right. All right. What else?
Games to watch this weekend.
I don't really think there are any. I just added this to fill some time if I needed it.
Football games this weekend.
UCLA, North Carolina, and Ohio State, Kentucky. The CBS Sports Classic, whatever they call it. That's tomorrow. That'll be fun.
Cincinnati, Dayton's tonight.
Yeah, Marquette goes to Xavier. An early one there, 11 o'clock our time. Mississippi State, Memphis. Good one there. Utah and Iowa. UConn, Butler, Villanova, Creighton, Louisville, Florida State, Purdue, and Auburn is somehow like the 10th best game according to KenPom. Purdue and Auburn is 3:30 on ESPN. It's in Birmingham. It's where Illinois played Alabama. Yeah, so it's a semi home for Auburn.
Nice.
Oregon, Stanford. Somehow not a conference game, by the way. Oregon, Stanford. And then big one for Kansas State and Wichita State. What Coleman Hawkins will we get? And also, I would dare to say that Rutgers could be on a little bit of upset watch tomorrow against Princeton. I mean, Princeton's had a pretty disappointing season so far. They're 8-4 with losses to Loyola, Chicago, Wright State, Texas State, Furman. But Princeton, got some good players. I think they'll figure it out. That could be a close one there, though. I mean, this is the same Rutgers team that lost to Kennesaw State. So something to keep an eye on there. Rutgers pretending like they won the Super Bowl when they beat Seton Hall, who's terrible. I guess it's a rivalry game, though, so maybe we shouldn't say that as we get into Missouri.
We beat Missouri. Jeffrey doesn't like Brad. He loves the team. I forgot. He's a Brad hater. So.
Yeah. And I also put here that with the way I'm looking at things right now, I think Ohio State's going to be like 7-13 in the Big Ten. I think they're going to suck.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like their team.
What'd you predict them preseason?
Probably like 6th or 7th. I don't know.
Sounds right.
They suck, though.
What do you think that was?
They shoot it well from 3. I don't know, like 221 or something.
Not long ago, huh?
I don't know.
We'll try 223. Brad Underwood was on John Rothstein's. Brandon Lee signed, by the way. We never did talk about the guys that signed. Not that anybody really cares because it means nothing. I don't know. Trying my best, guys. See what Ethan said. They are regretting the Diebler hire.
Yeah, I can see that. Got to think long term with these things,
Let's see. Ethan said Ohio State would be 9th. I said they would be 7th. So
okay, so I was right. Yeah, they're gonna suck. Who'd you have first, by the way? I think you nailed that one too.
Indiana.
Who did I have? Did I have UCLA?
Yeah.
Whew, sharp.
Good choice.
6.5 is the spread for this game Sunday, by the way.
I have UCLA 2nd, and then Michigan State, Illinois.
UCLA right now has won 9 in a row. Wins over Oregon and Arizona. Oregon on the road, and then they beat Arizona in Phoenix. And they got North Carolina, Gonzaga the next 2 Saturdays. If they split those, they go into Big Ten play. You're 11-2. You play Nebraska on the road to start, which could be tough. But UCLA, I think, has got a real chance to actually win the conference. I think they should be the favorite going in. I mean, you look at the computer numbers are all over UCLA being the best team in the Big Ten. If the computer numbers had it their way, the top 5 teams in the Big Ten would be UCLA, Maryland, Illinois, Michigan State, and Oregon. So with Purdue and Michigan just outside of that. So keep that in mind when you discuss that. But that's enough of this. I think we're good here. Yeah.
Yeah. This has been fantastic. It went over 30 minutes. Look at us.
Yeah, pretty good.
We'll be back Sunday with a watch party, Braggin Rights style. It will not be with 40 people like last time, so you'll be able to hear us. That'll be good.
Redemption for me, audio wise. It'll be fun.
I don't know what else we're doing, but
there's so much room for activities.
Are we doing it out there?
You want to?
I mean, I don't care. I don't think there's
there,
anything going
is there
on.
TV there still?
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to get ESPN though.
Well, there's an ESPN app.
And then you just log in to.
I can bring my Apple TV if I need to.
I mean, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
So much room for activities, All right.
We can have dribble drills.
That sounds good. All right. We'll figure it out, and we'll see everybody, I guess, Sunday around noon. Very exciting.